Welcome everyone to what is effectively the second Xbox Players SA Unplugged podcast. Joining me today for this podcast, as always, is Captain Kirk and Glenn ZA. Guys, how are you doing this week?
Hey, Billy, pick up the phone. What's up? Yo, what's up, Herman? This is Yanni here. Thank you so much, Glenn, joining us as well. I'm super psyched to be back. Can't wait to kick it off.
Hello, Herman. Johnny. Yeah, I think it is amazing. Actually, a bit of an achievement unlocked. The three of us to get together 2 weeks in a row is quite quite a feat. Yeah, second podcast together, Xbox Players Unplugged. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to a couple of topics that we can discuss, and obviously going through chatting, gaming, and sharing with everyone else listening.
Yeah, thank you guys and welcome back. I think just for the listeners that's new to the podcast, I'll walk you through the structure of this segment. So, firstly, we'll have a couple of news articles that happened throughout the week, and we'll discuss that. Since I have the two experts here with me, that has a little bit more insight. Then we also have two fun features where the listeners can interact with us in the podcast. It's namely Name That Game and Whose Line Is It Anyway. And regular segments, of course, is we'll be discussing Game Pass games. What's coming to Game Pass, what's leaving Game Pass. And then lastly, I get to pick Glenn ZA and Captain Kirk's brain on what they are playing and how they are enjoying the games that they are currently jamming. First topic for tonight, gentlemen. Godfall announced coming to Xbox. How do you guys feel about that, Captain Kirk?
It's wonderful to see. I'm really excited about that. Uh, the game has got very mixed reviews in the sense that I got the feeling that it's almost cut in half, right? Where you either think it's incredible beyond anything else, or you're not a big fan. And we see that in the reviews. The reviews are very midway for the game, like 6 out of 10s, 5 out of 10s, and nothing really that exceeds a 7 out of 10. Um, I obviously I'm going to play this game and see how it fits for me. Um, I won't say that I am over over overrun with joy, but I think it's a great addition to give people more options to choose. And if it's a great game, allowing more people to play a great game, I think that's what I love about the idea. Even if it's a little bit late, more people can share in that passion.
Glenn, this move has come as a surprise. Could this be related to it having a bad reception on, being console exclusive to PlayStation?
Hammond, not so much bad reception. I think Yanni and I are going off the same prep notes because I also had a little bit of the information he shared, like the Metacritic scores and the average reviews. I don't think that's the situation of the poor reception that they're pushing it across to extra two platforms to try and get more players to play it. Um, for one, I'm actually excited to play because I've really sinking teeth into action role-playing games in recent weeks. So this is just another one that's going to be added to the stable. A little bit late, like Yanni also said. Game was released in 2020, I think, for the PlayStation 5. And for us to get it 2 years later, maybe a different audience, which is good, what the game needs. But I don't think it's from poor reception. A game can only be as good as what the community make it to be.
So, Glenn, do you see this as, a promising future where future PlayStation exclusive games could be going multi-platform?
For me, Herman, I think the more we start seeing cross-platform, cross-play capabilities coming in, this whole scenario of exclusive titles per platform, and we've really seen how well Sea of Thieves did on Steam. A game like Cyberpunk, which got heavily hard reviews because of the older generation consoles, was the top-selling game on Steam at the end of last year. It's just amazing how a different community picks up and runs with the game. It's interesting times. It really is where the blurred lines between Xbox and PlayStation are starting to now intertwine with one another. And I would like to see more of that. I want to play with all my friends, not just a select few on my preferred platform. If I can jump on a new on PC and I've got friends on Switch or PlayStation playing the same game, that is ideal heaven for a gamer.
PlayStation has got amazing titles, amazing games. And I think those development studios would benefit uh, incredibly from having Xbox, PlayStation, or Nintendo users experience the titles that they make. So there is a massive cache. Well, no, there's a tiny cache of games that are of extreme quality that I wish was cross-platform, and those developers would obviously benefit from that because those games are so good. There's no way that they won't sell on other platforms as well, Edge.
So, gentlemen, the news topic that I am most excited to discuss with you guys is that CDPR has announced that Witcher 4, or at least the fourth installment of The Witcher, is in the works.
When the news broke last week, or is it now 2 weeks ago, when we heard that the saga continues for The Witcher, I am really bubbling with excitement. That is something we all really want and hoped for. I think the Netflix series has also done the whole gaming franchise justice. So there's a lot of Witcher happening and going around. But I really honestly hope that CD Projekt Red has learned from the Cyberpunk release and launch. Too much marketing, too early hype, too much, it really does backfire. So I really hope that it's been in development for a while, possibly, and it's maybe a year and a half away. I'm excited. I am definitely a big Witcher fan. I can't wait now. We're going to get the enhanced edition to come out on Series S and X. I'm going to definitely be jumping into Witcher 3 again and playing through. And hopefully that ties me over until when the new saga is released.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, but I have this very distinct memory that during CDPR's press run, a developer actually did say that The Witcher will continue, or someone from CDPR said The Witcher is going to continue. It's not going to be a continuation of Gerard's story. So in my head, that has been now for the last year, maybe 2 years, what I have been expecting to get from CDPR. But gentlemen, there is another side to the story, which I'd like to just bring into the spotlight. So it would seem that Unreal Engine 5 is going to be a behemoth that isn't going to have a lot of competition. We have had a problem with Bethesda's in-game engine for a while now, and I'm still super sketchy about the fact that they're going in with what they call an upgraded version of their game engine. EA's DICE had massive problems with their engine Frostbite. Insane development problems, and that was also because of executives were forcing games to be first person that wasn't, or third person that wasn't meant to be a third person action game. But enough that we learned a few months ago that EA was going to adopt Unreal Engine 5 for development, and they were pushing Frostbite to the side. Now, we knew that CD Projekt Red's drop for Cyberpunk didn't go so well. But when I saw the news, I don't know if it was today or yesterday, that they are getting rid of their own engine, which Witcher 3 was built in and which they also used for Cyberpunk, they are ditching that and they are also going Unreal Engine 5, which is just making me think that maybe one of their biggest problems with Cyberpunk was the fact that they had the incorrect engine that was running it and it wasn't capable. Again, the same fear that I have for Starfield. But they are moving this next Witcher game of them over to the Unreal Engine 5, and at least everything we've seen from tech demos and games that's already implementing it. For a third-person Witcher game, can you imagine anything better at this point? So I'm excited about that. I think they're going to be able to create and craft an insanely beautiful, insane quality game going the Unreal Engine 5 route. And I'm very excited for the news. It's something Witcher 3 is just one of those games that make me all gooey-eyed.
And if I can just jump in here after what Yanni has shared and the excitement in that too. For me, that's two parts of the story. Unreal Engine 5 is really, really going to turn heads as it has been with the tech demos and play demos that we've seen. And I also just think with CD Projekt Red dropping the Red Engine, their own internal development software, it frees up quite a bit of their development resources to now focus on purely game development as opposed to managing and maintaining a software to make games. And I think it's
Absolutely.
really, really a good move for them. It allows them to speed up processes internally to get more games out faster, new DLCs, updates. But interesting to know, even though the contract signed and done deal with Epic Games to be using Unreal Engine 5 for the new Witcher saga, Cyberpunk will still remain on the in-house Red Engine. So that's not going to go anywhere just yet. Maybe we'll see a rewrite at a later stage. I'm not sure. But yeah, really, really exciting news to see that's happening.
Then, of course, from Sony's State of Play, we were given the opportunity to see some gameplay from Hogwarts Legacy, a game that is, scheduled to release end of 2022. I'm quite excited about it, but it looks like it's not going to be as much an action adventure game as it is going to be more a game with RPG elements.
So, I actually have a pretty cool reason why I am a fan of the Harry Potter series. Started reading it when I was like 18 or 19. I was overseas and whole long sobby story. But anyways, it was the only thing I could do at that moment, and these books were there, and I read them. Now, for this game to come out with the capabilities that we have today, the technology that we have, the writing capabilities, and what we can do with stories, I am super geeked out about Hogwarts. I cannot tell you how giddy it makes me. So I'm super excited for this. The gameplay that has been, I don't know, leaked or purposefully put out. It was a couple of weeks ago. I was watching a few videos, and um, everything looked really great. And I think there's going to be deep RPG elements in there as well, and that's going to round it off real nice.
It really, really is. And I think Avalanche Studios, Avalanche Software, the company that's doing the development, they're sitting on a gold mine here. If they can get this one right, that whole Harry Potter universe just opens up to them with different stories, backstories, lore. It really is exciting. I'm not the biggest Harry Potter fan. I'll admit that upright and straight out, and all those can shout and boo and be upset. I'm a Hermione fan, so forget about Harry himself. But yeah, for me, I've actually watched that gameplay from State of the Play a couple of times already. I think it's like a 14-minute video, and it looks polished, it looks good. The sorcery, the magic, the beasts. It's really, really going to hit home well when it releases later this year.
Then on to Game Pass, gentlemen. I think the biggest surprise coming end of March was that F1 2021 came to Game Pass. Obviously a bit earlier than it normally would, but this should bolster our ranks in the playdates, Glenn.
Yeah, the Game Pass is the gift that just keeps on giving over and over and over. And I think a lot of players, myself included, when F1 2021 was on special now recently on the Xbox Store, everyone jumped in, everyone bought it. There was a deluxe edition, was 300 Rand odd. I think the standard was 199. A lot of guys purchased it. But there's also that side of the fence that we're waiting and hoping it will come to Game Pass pretty soon, because it came out last year July already. It did release quite early in terms of their release cycle. Game Pass is great to have F1 2021 added to it. That's going to bolster our Logitech series that we do run every year. That's our 6th year this year. I'll probably get into a bit more detail about that later in this show. But I think, yeah, we expect 3, 4, 5 lobbies this season with Game Pass, or the game already on Game Pass.
Then Kirk, last week we discussed about a couple of games that we might want to try out. Any of the ones on the list that you had the opportunity to see if they're any good for yourself?
Not have a well, some of the games I had a go at. I think what I'm looking forward to get my hands on coming up is Crusader Kings 2. It's one of the great grand strategy games. Had incredible reception on PlayStation, um, and uh, and I'm very excited to grab this off of Game Pass. I have had the most incredible time playing Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, which landed on Game Pass the 10th of this month. And that has just been an incredible, masterful gaming experience. I cannot stop talking about that damn game. They did it so well. And I'm not really clued up on the weirdest West or the Weird West coming in the 31st of March, but I hope it's good.
Um, just touching on Guardians, uh, I really think if you've got it on Game Pass, it's about a 25-hour to maybe a 35-hour playthrough. Get it, download it, enjoy the story, enjoy the characters. It is something you really want to do, especially since it's on Game Pass and available for those that didn't go out and purchase it at launch. And that's the beauty of Game Pass. You can spend 30 hours in a game, play it, delete it when you're done, and then move on again in the library.
Then the games leaving Game Pass. We spoke about Nier Automata last week, which was one of the big shockers, but also Maiden NFL 20. It's an EA Play title. Kirk, have you tried any Maiden games as yet?
So no, unfortunately, I really wanted to love Madden games, and I really wanted to get into football as well. But the game is not for me. It's a very frustrating stop-start kind of game, and I wasn't able to. But I know, like my brother, and there's quite a few actually South African gamers, even in our community, who really do enjoy these games, and I'm excited. Well, it's really nice for it to join, but something that I don't understand though, and you need to help me with, is when Madden leaves Game Pass, it's still available on Game Pass Ultimate because it's an EA Play title, right?
That's really a conundrum. I'm actually gonna have to research that, Yanni. Very good question. I think as it leaves Game Pass, it could still be with Game Pass Ultimate because it is part of the EA uh, catalog,
Yeah.
EA Play catalog. So, well, let's check what happens end of this month if we still got access to it or not. Interesting. Interesting. Good
Okay, cool.
observation there. Yeah. And just on Madden itself, I know small community, small few players. Best thing about Madden is to couch co-op, play together, have mates around, and then you can take one another. For me to play the season, to create a character, to create a player, that is very tedious. But if you can do couch co-op and play against your friends in a multiplayer environment, it is such a hose. Really, it is good laughs.
So, Glenn, for this segment, we've all agreed that we would like to discuss Xbox Playdates ZA a little bit. Seeing that there's a variety of gamers that's not familiar with, the brand or the initiative. Do you care to tell us a little bit more about it and just, get gamers clued up?
Sure, Herman. Yeah, and Yanni, I think thanks for the opportunity that we can talk and discuss about Xbox Playdates ZA, which is a separate entity from Xbox Players SA. We've got the group that's XBPSA, the 12,000 members, and that is really a close knit community. But then on the side, I think in 2015, I launched Xbox Playdates ZA as an Xbox ambassador back in the day. Another fellow ambassador from France, they started Playdates, and it was for them to play with other ambassadors, and we'll come together and play games once a week, every second week, and just kind of connect with one another. Even though, yeah, they're all European, and the latency. But then I started one locally, and over the years, it's grown and grown. So what happens is throughout the month, every Wednesday, we call it Playdate at 8. we'll host one of the top multiplayer games on Xbox. So it's your Halos, it's your Gears, it's your Titanfalls. Um, it is a variety of shooters. You got races, and that is for anybody and everybody with an Xbox now, even with PC with crossplay, is welcome to join the Playdates. It's normally an hour to 2 hours, depending on the title, on a Wednesday, 8 o'clock. And we get together, and if I'm now playing Rocket League, I get to see maybe 16 or 20 other players, and we've got multiple parties going in different lobbies. Then I add them as friends. So I can hop onto a game of Rocket League after the play date or in the weekend again. And that's how friendships have been formed. We've got one player there, one more Glary, who keeps coming back in every end of the play date. He's like, just one more, guys, just one more, just one more. So it really is good to meet other players, people that are playing the same games as you. For us now, it's in its 6th year, and it's grown over the years. So I think in our jam sessions on Xbox Players SA, we'll start sharing more of the events coming up. But what we do the month, like as the new month launches, we promote everything that's going to be coming your way. So you can either get it downloaded to make sure you've got it on your console or on your hard drive. So that's your Playdate at 8. It's your best multiplayer games that we can offer in a family-friendly environment for sure. And then on top of that, as we mentioned just in the earlier part of the show, we've started an F1 league, which started in 2016. 3 of us, myself, David from SA Gamer, and Colonel Jakes, we just started to get together and follow the F1 calendar. So we'd get together on the Friday night of that same race weekend at, for example, Australia or Italy, and we'd race 5 laps of that track. Fast forward 6 years now, we've got a headline sponsor, Logitech, who's been with us for 3 years. Prima Interactive is a sponsor. There's random prizes. At the end of the day, there's 100 players playing throughout the season, just having fun. It's casual. It's not even a league. I don't know why they call it a league. It's casual F1 racing, and that we follow the F1 calendar. On a Friday night at 8 o'clock, we get together and determine your standings in the lobby, or the point standings, determines which lobby you're racing, who your host is. Yeah, look out for those. I think with Game Pass F1 2021, we're going to have chock-a-block lobbies, 20 players in a lobby, and it is for fun and giggles. It really is. The competitive guys with their rigs and their wheels, yes, they're there. They're in top lobby, they're in lobby 1, let them race, go ahead and have fun. But the rest of the guys is there to just have a laugh, have a drink while they're playing, and just being social.
There's this beautiful story, Herman, that continuously pops up, and this happens in the community. It's nothing that we, from a team perspective, influence in any way, but stories that you get to hear when you have the vantage point over the community that we do have an insane privilege of having. The stories like gamers who are extremely social anxious, uh, seeing a change in the way they live because they started to go to a play date. And they are able to connect with other people, and they can do it on their own terms. And through this, playing together with others in a virtual space brought them to a point of confidence where they wanted to go out and have physical interactions as well as these virtual ones. And there are so many different kinds of stories of these, but they always remind me of the importance of Playdates ZA, and the initiative under the Xbox Ambassador, the Xbox and Ambassador initiative that is also has a very strong candle in South Africa. It's one of those places that you can always rely on being there on a Wednesday evening. And I urge anyone who wants to experience awesome human connection in a virtual space, um, that it's a wonderful opportunity for you to start dipping your toe in, or if it's just a matter of you're looking just for some people to play with. It's the wonderful thing of technology and consoles. Me and my friend who sits in Australia, who's my one of my best mates, and he's been overseas longer than we were friends while he was in South Africa. And and our relationship has just grown. So I urge anyone, Wednesdays, join a play date and see what it's all about.
For people who are not aware, I've been, taking part in Playdates since I started playing multiplayer games, which is about 5 or 6 years now. And, it's where I met most of my gaming friends, good friends and, friends in real life now. So yeah, if you ever keen, join a Playdate. Then can you give us an indication of games yet to come?
In the very first week of April, we'll reveal the April titles. And I think we've got 4 weeks in April, so 4 Playdates. And then Pause of Fridays take place on alternative weekends when there's no F1. So we still get together, we still do our weekly challenges with the community, and join the convoy. And yeah, that's really what happens on Playdates, Wednesdays and Fridays.
Now on to the more interactive part of the podcast, gentlemen. You will not be taking part in this, unfortunately. This is tricky for the listeners to comment and, interact with us. The first clip I will be playing you is a clip or theme of a game. And your job is just to see if you know what game it's from. Let's go. I hope everybody has got their answers in the comments. The next feature is Whose Line Is It Anyway? This is where I play you a famous line from a game, and you have to try and guess either who the character is that's, whose line it is, whose line is it anyway, or which game it's from. Let's see if you guys can get this one right.
It's time to kick ass and chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of gum.
Let's see those answers in the comments, guys. Then, gentlemen, I think to close off this segment, as always, let's see what you guys have been keeping yourself busy with. Yanni?
So yes, I am finally playing Elden Ring. Well, I started a second new game because I forgot everything I did in the first part the first time around, but I'm finally done with Cyberpunk and I'm done with Guardians of the Galaxy. So I'm very excited. This weekend, I'm going to be fully bathing in Elden Ring. I'm very excited about that. So in a way, nothing has changed, but something has.
Yanni, under your multiplayer, be sure you add XBPSA as a group. You can see our own community, our own members from the group. You can see their messages, you can see their phantoms, their blood stains. It really is, it's quite a novel little piece of software and development that they can allow that to happen. For me, I'm stuck in the lands between. I'm approaching 300 hours played of Elden Ring since launch. I have finished the game. I did go through, managed to beat and get to the end. And tempted to now start New Game Plus and just replay and find another ending. But yeah, I don't see myself playing anything until Harry Potter comes out. I'm going to be stuck in Elden Ring until then.
And I am on Elden Ring myself still. I'm trying to get the last couple of achievements, and so I'll be with you there all the way, Glenn. Guys, anything from your side to close off the podcast? Yeah.
Xbox rules. I'm kidding. No, thanks, H. Thank you, Glenn. Again, fantastic talk gaming. And I cannot wait until the next one. So if you're around, make sure to join us next time, and let's see what's happening in and around gaming.
Yanni, as a pleasure as always to sit around and talk gaming and what's happening in our spaces. To all the visitors, listeners, viewers, thanks for tuning in, being part of the community. Yeah, it's really, really, I think a little bit of discipline for us to be able to take time out just to make sure that we can get together and make this podcast happen. So look forward to future podcasts of Xbox Players ZA Unplugged.
Fantastic, guys. Thanks again for another successful podcast. From Captain Kirk, Glenn ZA, and Ranman ZA, thanks for listening, guys. Bye.